I'm Cassandra, and I work with ThedaCare. I'm also a busy mom of 3.
Camden, no thanks. Hey.
Doing it all is more challenging than ever, and that includes making healthcare decisions. So, welcome to Health Inspired Talk, where we cut through the confusion, we chat with experts, and we help you get the care you need for you and your family. For some of us, the transition from summer to autumn can be a time of celebration. Many of us love apple cider, pumpkin spice, and sweater weather. As fall continues to progress, days get colder and shorter, and cold and flu season takes hold. It does become real. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can thrive any time of the year. In this episode of Health Inspired Talk, we're sharing ways to safeguard your physical and mental health this fall and winter. Autumn means a return to classrooms for students, more time spent indoors together, and while we spend more time with friends and loved ones over the holidays, all of those factors can lead to an increased chance of getting sick. People have lots of questions around how to stay well, so today we have 2 family medicine experts joining us, Andy Kubisch, a physician assistant, and Lauren Jesco, a nurse practitioner. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
So we know that artificial intelligence is all the rage right now, but we also need that human expertise and wisdom. So Andy and Lauren, we're going to have you answer some common questions that come in around how to stay well, okay? Let's take a look at our first question here. What vaccines should I consider?
Vaccines are the best way for kids to prevent illnesses such as measles, whooping cough, even polio. Using the vaccine schedule put out by the CDC is the best way to ensure that your kids are covered during their most vulnerable times. Most schools do require up-to-date vaccines to help prevent outbreaks, and so you can talk to your family provider about which vaccines your kids need.
And what about for adults? Are there any recommendations for vaccines?
We recommend flu first for everyone. Pneumonia is very important for older adults and those with weakened immune systems. Shingles is a painful outbreak that affects 1 in 3 adults in their lifetime. And then boosters such as pertussis and MMR are important as well.
Okay. Followed up by that question here, can I get multiple vaccines at the same time?
Absolutely. It's safe, it's effective, and it's less time consuming.
Okay, we always like that. Save time where we can. All right, our next question. Should I take a vitamin D supplement? And what does vitamin D do for our bodies?
Vitamin D does a couple things. One of its most important roles is with calcium absorption, which is good not only early in life, but also later in life to reduce the risk of osteoporosis. It also has some impact on our mood. Living in Wisconsin, I find a lot of people do tend to be deficient. And so I actually recommended even overtaking a multivitamin because it's one of the few that we're actually deficient in. It's a fat-soluble vitamin, so you'll absorb it a little bit better if you take it with a meal.
Okay. All right, our next question. How can I boost my immunity?
We can boost our immunity a couple different ways. I think some of the most important ways are well within our control. It's through our diet. I can't overstate the importance of a healthy diet, eating whole fruits and vegetables, whole foods in general, and trying to follow a low glycemic index diet or a low sugar diet is really important as well. Getting an adequate amount of sleep is also really important. 7 to 9 hours is the recommendation. If you're getting less than that, it does put you a little bit higher risk for getting infections. It doesn't allow our immune system to function as adequately. Getting enough hydration, 64 ounces of water or 8-ounce glasses. And then exercise is also super important. Staying active throughout the year, not just when the weather is nice, but also in the winter months. There's a couple studies that show that staying active does reduce our risk of getting illness, or at least the severity of the illness if we do get sick.
Okay, all good tips, because it's bound to happen, right? We're all going to get sick.
Yes.
Okay. How do I know if I should stay home from school or work when I do get sick?
Yeah, this is a great question. This is one that we get quite often. So if you're having fevers, a new cough, sore throat, or stomach symptoms like vomiting or diarrhea, it's best to stay home to prevent the spread of illness to other people and just to give your body some time to recover. You should be fever-free for at least 24 hours and then without stomach symptoms again for 24 hours before returning to work or school.
Okay. What's the best way to recover if I do get sick with a cold or a virus?
Staying well hydrated is going to help loosen secretions in our sinuses and also help us get mucus out of our lungs if we've got mucus accumulating there as well. Just kind of keeps everything thin. It's good to get rest, like Lauren was saying. Rest is really important just to let our body recover. We don't want to be doing a lot of strenuous things if we can help it. One of the best things you can do is avoid sugar. Sugar can make the viral symptoms last longer and also be more severe. So I tell everyone just to try and limit sugar when you're sick and just eat healthy foods as much as possible.
Okay, these are all really great pieces of advice. Before you go, can you talk through some options for care?
Primary care should be everyone's first stop for things like checkups, chronic conditions, and then non-urgent needs. For some of those more urgent needs like sprains, sutures, things of that nature, urgent care is a great option as well.
We also do have some expanded virtual options as well, so that's something that people can be utilizing if they'd like to. It's also just important to note if people are having really severe symptoms, really bad shortness of breath, uncontrolled vomiting, can't keep anything down, those might be things that are better to be addressed in the ER.
All right, this is excellent advice. Thank you both so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
With the change in seasons, it's not uncommon for people to experience a decline in mood and mental health. Whether it's struggles with seasonal affective disorder, feeling cooped up indoors during cold weather, or holiday stresses, this time of year can be tough. Joining us today to discuss positive coping strategies are Gregg Brewer and Natalie Hartfiel. They are both mental health clinicians with ThedaCare Behavioral Health. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having us today.
You're welcome.
Sometimes when we're stressed, we're feeling a little anxious, we might want to comfort ourselves with some habits that aren't necessarily healthy. And sometimes it's okay to do that, right, with the occasional treat or a Netflix binge, but we have to consider our mental health over time. So today we're hoping that you can play this game with us. It's called Do This, Not That, the Mental Health Edition. So we have some topics here, and we're hoping that you can walk us through them and then maybe talk through some coping strategies. How does that sound?
Great.
Sounds good.
All right, Natalie, do you want to pick first?
Yeah, I think I'll go with number 2, please.
All right, number 2. We have stick to a regular sleep schedule, even on the weekends, or sleep in every Saturday and Sunday. Thoughts?
Keeping a regular sleep schedule can help us boost our immune defenses, which is so important in the winter to help us stay healthy and be able to carry about our daily routines. So some things that you can do to kind of help you maintain a regular sleep schedule are, of course, getting up at the same time every day, going to sleep at the same time every day, and varying that only by about an hour actually on the weekends. Some other really great things to develop a wonderful sleep routine is to just think about stopping just about everything about 60 minutes prior to bedtime. So no heavy meals, turning off all of your electronics 60 minutes prior to bedtime, and creating a wind down routine for yourself. So relaxing activities like reading a book or listening to some soft music before you go to bed.
These all sound like really great recommendations, especially as we get in those cold winter months. Gregg, do you want to take our next topic?
Sure, I'll pick number 1.
All right, let's take a look. Number 1 here. Meet up with friends and family or all-day TV binge. Oh boy.
Well, it is generally better to spend time with people. There are those times when we do that half-day, all-day TV binge, but generally hanging around with friends, family, co-workers, if you're involved in civic organizations or spiritual organizations. Another layer of this where you can spend time with people and get an extra bonus is by volunteering and giving. The research is really clear for many years that one of the keys to happiness is actually giving to other people. And so during this time, fall, winter, holidays, a lot of opportunities for all of this. Now, that all being said, I would suggest we all need boundaries. Keep in mind that when we say yes to one thing, we're probably saying no to something else. So it's really important to be intentional about where you want to invest your energy and your time that's both helpful to you and to others.
Those are great tips for us. Like that a lot. All right, next one.
Number 4, please.
All righty, number 4. This one says, strive to eat a balanced, healthy diet or eat a whole bag of chips and consume excess amounts of alcohol.
Strive to eat that healthy, balanced diet. Talk to your primary care provider or get connected with a nutritionist or a dietitian, because everybody's needs are different when it comes to nutrition. So the most important thing is making an appointment with those providers. It's okay to have a treat every now and then, but kind of think about your My Plate and just balancing with plenty of fruits and veggies and proteins are really important as well.
Especially as we're going into the holiday season.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
I'll pick number 3, Cass.
Number 3. Make time for meditation or other ways to quiet your mind, or lose hours of your day social media surfing or doom scrolling.
Well, definitely we got to quiet our mind. It's really important, especially I think in this day and age with so much avenues of information coming into us, whether it's streaming, the news, social media. We need to learn to unplug. Part of the problem with all the information is that much of it we can't do anything about. And when you can't do something about something, you get more frustrated and stressed. So it is important to, as you said, quiet the mind. But the larger concept is mindfulness. And mindfulness is really about staying in the present moment. And that can be a lot of activities: meditation, sports, reading, listening to music, playing music, etc. So it is important just to begin to have more of a mindful focus in life all the time.
Oh, really good tips there. Natalie?
Number 6.
Number 6. We have talk with a trusted friend or loved one, or keep your feelings bottled up.
Definitely talk with a trusted friend or a loved one. So the most important thing is to be very intentional about your contact with others. Make a plan to stay in contact, whether it be by phone, text, email, or in person. And then, if you make that commitment, right, follow through with that. The contact doesn't always have to be complicated. It can just be a simple check-in.
Perfect. All right, Gregg, we have 2 more left.
We'll go with 5.
Number 5. Okay, get outdoors for a walk or physical activity, even when it's cold, or take a break from exercise until spring.
Well, it is good to continue any positive patterns we have, whether or not the season has changed. Sometimes you need to adapt that. But nature is particularly important at this time of the year because we get less sunlight in general in our climate, and that affects not getting enough vitamin D, which affects our mood. And also, sunlight helps us increase our serotonin, which is a good feel chemical that we have in our brains. The other thing about nature is it's good for mindfulness because we use our senses more. Because there are things in nature we hear, smell, see that we don't other places. And senses are very present, right? You can't smell in the future. You can't taste in the future. So sensors are really important for that. And of course, exercise is important all year long. Generally 75, 150 minutes a week of activity. It doesn't have to be hard activity, just movement they're finding is important, kind of depending on your age. So yeah, good to keep getting out and doing what you can.
Wonderful. All right, Natalie, we have our last one here. This one says, seek the help of your primary care provider or behavioral health specialist, or suffer in silence.
Seek the help of your primary care provider or a specialist at ThedaCare Behavioral Health. Gregg and I happen to work at our behavioral health walk-in clinic in Neenah. Currently, we are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And come on in. Gregg or I would be happy to meet with you. We do an assessment of needs, and then we try to connect you with the appropriate resources to, help you maintain balanced mental health.
How important is it to take that very first step? Because sometimes it might feel overwhelming for people, right?
It can be overwhelming. I always tell people that, because they ask, when should I get help? How do I know if I need help? And what I say is whatever's going on, whether it's anxiety, depression, substance use, interpersonal relationships, is that if it's becoming too much for you, causing you undue distress, it's causing undue distress for others or a conflict in the relationships, or you're not doing all the things we're talking about, which are good, it's probably time to come in. I think it's very easy for people to come into us. They don't need to make an appointment, which a lot of people like. And we tend to get them in within 15 to 30 minutes. And the other benefit that I think our clinic has, because we do have a substance use counselor too, is we have a psychiatric provider on staff. There are some things that are more about a person's genetics than about their life. And those things need to get addressed with some medication sometimes.
And I'd like to think that, Gregg and I are pretty low pressure individuals. I always kind of tell people, they come in and they're like, I don't really know where to start. And I said, you don't have to know where to start. My job is to help you take that tangled ball of emotions and thoughts, and we're going to kind of just pull apart the threads and sort of organize them a little bit and find some direction.
Oh, that's a really great way to look at it. Gregg, Natalie, thank you so much for being with us. These were really great recommendations as we head into some colder winter months. Thank you.
Yeah, again, thank you.
Thank you.
From primary care appointments to urgent care to video visits, we make it easy for you to connect to care. Visit ThedaCare.org, get care now to see all of your options. Our team at ThedaCare wishes you health and wellness this fall. We'll see you next time. At ThedaCare, our mission is to help you live your unique best life. And we want to know what kind of questions you have when it comes to your health care. Leave your questions and comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe so you see the very latest in this series.